All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Living the Dream podcast. My name is Caitlin, and I am your host today. It has been a little while since we've done a podcast episode, but we have a very good one for you today. I have James here with me from Cleats for Athletes. Just a little intro about James. He recently was married, so congratulations on that. He also played football, wide receiver at U of M. So go blue. That makes you definitely one of my favorites, James. And he is the founder of a nonprofit, Cleats for Athletes, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So is there anything you want to share before we get started, James?
No, just I'm a guy with many titles. I actually just took on another role. I'm the head football coach at Lakeshore High School. And
Wow.
just staying busy, super busy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is that varsity?
Yes, yep, varsity.
Nice. Cool. Well, congratulations. So,
Yeah, thank you.
I guess jumping into it, tell us about what Cleats for Athletes is.
Yeah, so we're a nonprofit. We started back in 2020. And basically, what our mission is to provide like foot attire for any of our local athletes who basically need that assistance. When we launched, we kind of mainly focused on football, but now we've kind of like branched off into a variety of sports. We deal with basketball, soccer, baseball, even track. And yeah, we usually pick a season, we sponsor a few different teams throughout that season. And then we always keep our door open for any individual athletes who may need assistance for a cleat or a shoe for their respective sport.
That's amazing. I love Cleats for Athletes, and I heard about you guys obviously through TJ. Shout out to TJ. And I've loved the organization ever since. How did you come up with the idea of starting this nonprofit?
Yeah, so I was a head coach before just taking on this new job back in 2015 when I first finished, when I just finished playing professional football. And I worked at a high school called Madison Heights High School.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a few athletes that came through my program, that I just noticed that, like, they were coming out there with tennis shoes or football practice and like other like miscellaneous like sporting attire that they needed that they just didn't have. And from my own personal team and then us going on to like 7-on-7s and other youth organizations, I realized that it was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I saw the most was, kids out there playing football in tennis shoes on grass, which we all know is it's not very good and it's not something that's going to help you better yourself in your sport. So that's where I got the idea from. And once I finished coaching, that's when I made it my mission to make sure, I provide those cleats for those type of kids.
That's amazing. I guess like I never really thought about it because obviously when you play football, they give you the pads and like those kind of necessary things, but cleats you don't get. And it's almost like a safety thing. Like you need to wear the right footwear for playing the sport. So that's amazing. I didn't know that you played professional football either.
Yeah, I
NFL?
spent a few years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I
Nice.
spent the year at the Kansas City Chiefs, and then I spent 2 years in Canada playing in the CFL.
Nice. That you
Yep.
have the best little story here. Okay, cool. So so you said in 2015 you
Mm-hmm.
launched. So when you initially launched, what were some of the challenges that you faced like right off the bat?
Yeah, so I guess like when you start something like this, you have your mission in mind, and you want to provide and you want to help. And the first few battles that you find out dealing with is obviously like the right, how do you say this, uh, like documentations that you need in order to launch your 501c3. So that was kind of a bit of a process, applying for all the right documentations to make sure we were certified through the state. And then obviously raising funds for your nonprofit.
Sure.
Obviously, you want to help, and then as you notice when you're helping people, there's just more and more people that's reaching out, and the funds, they go away pretty quickly. So being able to keep up with replenishing those funds for your athletes is something that was definitely a challenge at first.
Do you think that was hard for you at first, like kind of getting the message out there? Or do you think just because you've been involved in sports, you had pretty good connections already?
Yeah, the message was easy. Being around youth sports 24/7. I mean, as soon as I wore my shirt the first time, everyone kept
Mm.
asking me like, "What does that mean? What does that stand for?" So our mission, like when we launched it, I mean, we took off. I think in the first probably 3 months of us launching, we donated almost 1,000 pairs of cleats.
Wow.
So yeah. So everyone caught on to it really quickly, and I guess the part that we faced difficult in that sense was, just making sure that we provided the cleats for the people that we felt like most necessary and needing them, and not everyone just looking to get a free pair of
Right.
cleats. So yeah, so initially when we started, we had no guidelines on who we would give our cleats to. Pretty much, if you asked, we gave them to
Mm.
them. And then as we went on, we kind of started had to put in some stipulations to make sure that the foot attire was going to the people that actually needed them.
Yeah. So how do you like how does somebody either apply, and like what does the criteria look like for that?
Yeah, so we have an just open to apply on our website. So you go to cleatsforathlete.com, and there's a request form. You go on there, you submit your request form of what you need the cleats for, and it's still pretty simple. We don't get into too specific of details. We don't ask anyone's financial background,
Right.
but we just ask that you provide the organization the kid plays for, shoe size. His team colors, and then we ask you just leave us a little brief message, why this kid needs cleats, and pretty much from there, then we just decided to hand them out from there.
Nice. So I know that you said you initially did like 1,000 pairs of shoes. What is like all over time? Like what are you at now? Do you know?
Yeah, so we're in year 4, and we surpassed 7,000 this year. So
Wow,
we're coming up on 8,000 this year.
that's amazing. That is like
Yeah.
literally so incredible. So this is kind of like not really off topic, but just because I'm kind of like a shoe person, do you
hmm
when the like parent fills out the form, do they get to put in like my kid would love a Nike pair, or like I know you said like you ask about colors and stuff, but do they get any sort of like preference on what shoe they want?
Yeah. So no, we don't. Not that specific. We do ask them the color. We ask them obviously what position they play. So
Mm,
if it's a lineman, we make sure you get a high top cleat. If they're a skill player, we make sure they get a skill cleat. But the one thing that we do pride ourselves in our organization is the cleats that we do give out, where it's all top notch brands. So we do obviously a lot of Nike. We do Jordan. We do Adidas. We do Under Armour. And we always went by this saying from a famous athlete, Deion Sanders, is, "Hey, if you look good, you play good." So we try to make sure that the athletes have some pretty cool and respectable cleats to wear out
yeah.
there.
Look good, feel good, play good. I feel that.
That's it.
Okay, so I know like over 7,000 pairs, amazing. What are some other very significant achievements that you've had so far?
Yeah. So we run a few youth camps. We're actually hosting one this Saturday. I'm going to host it at the high school that I coach at now.
Nice.
We also work with Kingdom Builders Church out of Southfield, and every year we host an annual camp with those guys as well. And again, our camps, we always make it free to the public.
Wow.
And yeah, so we want to make sure every kid has the opportunity to show up to these camps and perform, get better, always give out t-shirts, we give out awards, and we pride ourselves on obviously making it free so everyone can attend. Along with that, other than just foot attire, we've done a couple uniform donations for teams. We've done warm-ups for teams. We this past couple years ago, we had a partnership with Dick's Sporting Goods, and they donated some weight room equipment to us. So with that weight room equipment, we also purchased some more, and we funded like Page Middle School with weight room equipment. Kingdom Village Church, we applied them with the weight room equipment for their facility, and yeah, we do gloves, baseball bats. We're pretty much in the attire now is anything that's miscellaneous for an athlete that he possibly might need, we try to attend to.
Wow. I love that too because it's like, especially with the camps, it's not just like, hey, like you could easily use the camps as like another fundraiser to kind of like generate funds to get kids cleats. But the fact that you make them free so that, yes, it's more exposure for cleats for athletes, but it's just really about getting the kids out there and giving them the opportunity. So I love that. And then being able to expand and do other equipment and weight room things and, miscellaneous, like you said, bats and things like that. Like, that's awesome because kids, like, sometimes kids, they can't afford it. They want the cool stuff. They can't have it. They see their friends have it. So I love that.
Yeah.
Is there like a particular success story that stands out to you that like was very impactful to you?
Yeah, I got a couple. One actually, through our good friend TJ. There was a family. Obviously, through COVID, we knew that, like, people went through tough times,
Mhm.
and and it's not even necessarily if, like, you're down completely financial, but just the extra dollars to spend on sports equipment might not be there. So TJ approached me with a family, that I believe it was single mom, and she just needed help in that sense. And she had two kids. One that was in soccer, and I believe the other one was in t-ball or softball. So we actually took the family out, and we bought both of the kids their entire set that they needed for their upcoming sport.
Mm.
So we got them with Under Armour gear for the cold weather. We got them with shin guards. We got them with a respective ball, baseball bat, and as well as their foot attire. So those situations, it feels good. And then it's also, we get personable with them. So, we get to talk to them on a one-on-one level, find out their interests, their likes, and, just build that bond and that connection.
Yeah.
Another one that we also did, we actually partnered with Dick's Sporting Goods and Roseville Police Department. We did a shop with the cop,
Yeah, I remember seeing
and
that.
yeah. So that one was pretty cool too, and it made us obviously feel good again because we all had a kid and we got personal with them, and we took them around and we bought them different sporting stuff, but it was also kind of during the Christmas holidays, which is always something that puts a smile on the kids' faces.
I love that. Like, this just warms my heart because when I do a lot of these like podcast interviews, it's with people that are small business owners, which is amazing in
Mhm.
itself. Obviously, I have a small business, but like the nonprofit aspect, because it's like you don't have to do this. You're not really like getting anything monetary out of it. It's all just about building relationships and making an impact on the community. And if you have the ability to do that, why wouldn't you?
Mhm.
So I love that you're doing
Yeah.
that and the rest of the Cleats for Athletes guys and everything. And it's amazing. So I love it. So I know, you do your golf outing. What are some other ways that you generate funding for Cleats for Athletes?
Yeah, so we partner with different organizations, or large companies as well. Obviously, we did the charity game with UWM.
Hmm.
We raised some good funds for that one, and usually whatever organization that we deal with, where they're based, we try to make sure that we give back to that community. So obviously, when we dealt with UWM, most of the funds that we raised from there, we gave back to the Pontiac community. Another one that is a big partner of ours is Dick's Sporting Goods, and if they're not actually, they've supplied us with a lot of financial supporting, but also the actual equipment and cleats themselves. So that helps us a lot with our inventory. Another big one that we got was from Princeton Construction.
Mm.
When we first got started, yeah, they cut us a nice big check for us to launch ourselves and get off the ground as well. So yeah, pretty much, like us and our board members, there's five of us.
Hmm.
And I'm going to make sure I give those guys a shout out. But yeah, us and the connections that we have, different organizations and companies, we try to reach out to them and get them to get on board to help us, to, also support our mission.
Yeah.
And those board, yeah, really quick, just touch on those board members. Obviously, TJ, awesome guy, drew our connection with UWM. Nelson Mejia, who's in charge of our director of engagements. He works for a company that they do staffing, and his boss is awesome and definitely provides a lot of funds. Tony, who is our CFO, his company as well, does some supporting and backing. Nick Lupo, who's our marketing guy, does a great job, and then Ryan Ranker is in charge of our inventory.
Mm.
So the support, all those guys, come together with myself is just pretty much how we get it done, and we're a friend group.
Yeah.
So it's a hobby of ours.
Yeah. You can definitely tell too, like I've seen you guys in action at the golf outing and like everything just works and obviously you guys are good friends so that makes it work. But going back to kind of what you said about having connections, I think about this a lot because I feel like as an adult, you realize building connections and networking, like that is so much to do with being successful in whatever you're doing. And I talk about this with my small business all the time. I wouldn't have the success that I do if it weren't for the connections that I have at work and like all the people that I know and being able to build those relationships. And I think like it goes without saying with you as well. And then you're going into the community and making these other connections with these camps and other things you're doing and like getting more exposure. And it just like, it makes it that much more successful. So, note to anyone who's out there, if you want to be successful at anything, be good at building relationships with people is really what it comes down to. Because I'm sure when you started Cleats for Athletes and trying to get it going, it probably took a minute for funding and things like that to come through, but being able to have those connections is where like that's the game changer.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Obviously, went to the University of Michigan, and I tell people this all the time that I think the thing that I learned the most out of coming out of the University of Michigan is, the power of networking.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to such a prestige university, and the connections that we make is something that's gonna stay with you forever. So, yeah, the power of networking is something that's super big, and it's for anybody, college kids or that's about to get into the real world. It's something that I suggest everyone, take part in and try to master themselves to get better where they want to go in the world.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so well, we kind of already talked about how you engage in the community, but can you talk a little more specifically about what communities you really serve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're Metro Detroit. The one area, well, two areas that we see the most is the Detroit area from the east side and the west side. We deal with a lot of the PAL organizations, and then also the sub leagues just outside Detroit. So ESL's one, ONYFA, which is another one. And those are all just youth organizations in the Metro Detroit area from Oakland to Wayne to Macomb. And then from there, the exact same Tri-County high schools. So we've dealt with schools such as Martin Luther King.
Mm.
We've had athletes from East Detroit, team sponsorships we've done with Lanphier High School, Madison High School. We've had a couple of kids from Hazel Park. So pretty much anywhere in the Tri County area in the Metro Detroit is what we deal with. Of the most recently, we've actually had people reach out that's actually out of state, and we've actually sent cleats out to as many as 5 states
Wow.
to this year. So yeah, we're expanding more and more as we go.
Do you think that that comes from social media, like exposure on social media?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Obviously, me being a athlete, to be a professional athlete, I have former teammates or people that I've that were fans or I had relationships with in other states that we sent out. One is Kansas City, obviously me playing there, and I know we sent out 5 pairs of cleats to Kansas City last year. So
Nice.
again, that power of networking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Okay, so we talked about initial challenges, trying to like logistically get everything going. What are some ongoing challenges that you kind of face now?
Yeah, still funding. Um, Obviously, the more that people know about our organization, the more people we try to help, and the more people reach out. And just still keeping up with that financial aspect of it is still a challenge, and it's gonna continue to be a challenge. The one thing about our nonprofit is 100% of our proceeds go back to our athletes. So pretty much anytime we get funding, we try to figure out a way that we can give out more apparel or more cleats or shoes for any athletes. So pretty much the more funding we get, the more work it is for us because we want to continue to try to give it out. So anytime that people reach out again, it's like the first thing we have to figure out is how do we raise funds so we can
Yeah,
support this request that we're getting.
I love that. What about in terms of like goals? Do you have goals short term or long term for Cleats for Athletes that you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah. Well, we did have super big goals. We did have a 5-year plan, and we eventually wanted to open up our own facility, have some type of training. We actually had a building where we would actually give out the cleats, but we wanted to take it, a step further and make a place where kids can come,
Mm-hmm.
have open gym and things of those sorts for free or no cost.
Yeah.
Um, but busy in life. Obviously, I just got married. I just took on a head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, who's another amazing asset to our organization, just moved to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to put a little damper on how fast we were moving, and hopefully in the next year or two we can open up back those ideas and try to move forward with that.
Yeah, that would be so cool. And I think that you need more places like that where kids can just go and have a safe place to be. I know, like at UWM, we have the sports complex and we serve a lot of the Pontiac community with that. So, doing more of that, love that. That's what we need in this world. So, I love it. So, what are some things you all have coming up? Initiatives, events? I know you said you have a camp this weekend. What else do you have coming up?
Yep. So we're hosting a youth camp on the 25th at Lakeshore High School from noon to 3. So we need kids from the ages 7 to 12. You guys want to come out to a free camp? It's open to the public. It's at Lakeshore, which is on 13 Mile and Jefferson. We're doing the annual camp with the Kingdom Builders again. I believe that is July 13th. I have to double check. And that's going to go from noon to 2. We just finished with a shoe giveaway that we did with NW Goldberg, which is a nonprofit out of the southwest of Detroit. And we gave away 300 pairs of football cleats during the draft to the youth. I know they have a hoop fest coming up, and we're going to try our best to help them guys with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's pretty much it. I think this year we haven't put our dates together for our golf outing. We might hold out this year with everyone's schedules, but we'll definitely pick that back up next year.
Yeah.
And any upcoming events that we normally have, we usually post it on our social media.
Okay.
On Instagram is Cleats _4 athletes.
Okay. Cleats _4 athletes. Okay. Switching gears a little bit more on like the personal side. How has running this organization changed you personally?
It's definitely made me have a more respect for people that run nonprofit organizations. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's like you do it out of the kindness of your heart, and there's not any financial gains from it. So I've noticed that I've taken on another full-time job from it. But I love what I do, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
To give back is something that I've always done, and I will continue to do. So, the way it makes me feel inside to be able to, provide someone with something that they don't have makes me feel amazing, and I'll always continue to do that.
That's amazing. And I think it's just a testament to the person that you are. And like I said, when I've like met you and seen your like core group of guys, you guys all I think have the heart for this, and that's what you should be doing if you're this kind of person, and if you have the capabilities to do it, you should be. So I love that you really put yourself out there. And yeah, it is a lot of work, I can imagine, because it's not only like what you put out there and what people see, it's all the behind the scenes stuff that you're doing too. So that's where it turns into like the full-time job. So amazing what you're doing. What advice would you give to someone who is looking to maybe start a nonprofit?
Yeah, just surround yourself with people that have the same vision, the same mindset as you. Um, that's the most important because, like I said, it's a lot of work. So being able to delegate some of that work to someone else is something that's going to keep you sane. So definitely, if you decide to tackle a challenge of this sort, to make sure you find yourself a nice core group of people that will have the same vision as you and are willing to put in the same effort and work that you're willing to put in.
Yeah. I think that, like I said, like that probably helps you so much, is having those guys that, and like they're your friends, like you said. So they're there for you. You guys got each other. You guys all work together very well. I know last year when we had the flag football game and you guys were reffing, it was like cool to see you all in action working together. So that was fun. If listeners want to get involved with Cleats for Athletes, whether they want to support you or attend an event, everything's on the website, or what's the best way to kind of see all of that?
Yeah. Yeah, so the website, the things we use the website for the most is our cleat requests. So if there's any individual athletes out there who are looking to get a pair of cleats or respective shoe for their sport, visit our website cleatsforathlete.com. Also, if anyone's looking to make a donation, we have all of our third party platforms on there to where you can make a donation. Anything where it comes to like updates for events or camps or anything that we're hosting along those lines, our social media is what's best for us in that sense. We keep everything updated on there. So our Instagram again is cleats_for_athletes. And if you're trying to find us on Facebook, it's Cleats for Athletes.
Thank you. That is amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
everyone visit the website. I'm sure everybody out there knows somebody that could use the service or benefit from it or could get involved in some way, shape, or form. So please partake in it. Is there anything else that you want to share with anyone who's listening, just about the organization or what you do or any advice, anything at all that you want to share?
Yeah, just be kind. Always know that, don't ever judge anyone for the situation that they're going through at the time or the moment. We never know what people are going through behind closed doors, and we should never judge anyone for that sense. So be kind when you can, help when you can, and it'll always make you feel good. The one goal that we have in our mission statement is support our community one athlete at a time. So we're going to always try to do our best to make sure all of our athletes are out there, are equipped to prepare for the right appropriate attire for their respective sport.
You are like melting my heart right now. I I love youth sports. I used to work in youth sports for years, and I did a lot of like research on it in college and why it's very beneficial for kids to play sports. So the fact that you do this to make it possible for kids to be involved in sports so that no matter what their financial background is, they can have some part in it. Like it hits different for me.
Yeah.
So I know you said Instagram is cleats_for_athletes. Website is cleatsforathlete, no s.com. What is there any other forms of social media or anything where you want to share, shout out, anything like
Yep.
that?
And Facebook. We figured that those are the two main ones is Facebook and Instagram. So you can find us on Facebook at just Cleats for Athletes. And the four is spelled out FOR.
Okay. Amazing.
Yep.
All right. So that's all the questions I really have about Cleats for Athletes. I appreciate you sharing all of that. I know this is obviously something you're very passionate about, and I love to hear about other people's passions. That's why it's called Living the Dream, because hopefully you are living your dream. But
Yeah.
we do have some rapid fire. So I
Okay.
have just a few, like 10 ish questions.
Okay.
And just answer it quick. No thinking, first thing
All
that
right.
comes to mind. Here we go.
Okay.
Favorite dessert?
Chocolate chip cookie.
Same. Favorite sports team?
Oh, Michigan Wolverines.
Same. Favorite athlete of all time?
Michael Jordan or Charles Woodson.
Okay. Your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration. Oh, that's a good one. I probably have to say Lloyd Carr.
Okay.
Yeah, Lloyd Carr.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Your current binge show?
Oh, binge show. Oh, All American.
Oh, I never watched the new season of that. I actually should watch that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Favorite summer activity?
Oh, I've just got into wakeboarding.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's different, challenging.
I was gonna say, is it difficult?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Takes about a good solid year or two to get up on the board, but once you get the hang of it, you're good.
Okay. Is that the one where do you hold on, or is that like the?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a wave. It's not tight. Your feet are not tied in. So you your feet's just on a regular board, like a surfboard, but it's a smaller one, and you ride the wave behind a surf boat.
Yeah.
And you hold the rope, and then once you get comfortable holding the rope, you can throw it in, and you can actually just ride the wave by itself.
Nice. That's really cool.
Mm.
What is one thing that you are deeply grateful for right now?
Um, um, my family and my wife, obviously, and then also my board members. They're awesome.
Love it. What is a concert that you will never forget?
Oh, I go to Drake every time he comes.
Mm. We know whose
I'm
side
a
you're
huge
on
Drake
in
fan.
the
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, Favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Okay. 3 words to describe you.
Oh, fast, athletic, uh, passionate.
Okay. Do you mean fast as in like running or like you're efficient?
Uh, yeah,
Right.
fast. I'm a fast
Okay.
runner. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Last one. Biggest thing that you learned at
Uh,
U of M?
it's all about networking.
Yeah,
So it's a thing I took the most from the university.
love it. Well, anything else you want to share, James?
No, that's it. I appreciate you having me on, and kudos to you as well. I know that you run your clothing brand as well. It's pretty cool that you're doing your podcast. So, us as individuals to also, even though we have our daily 9 to 5, to still be passionate about what we want to do on our own,
Yeah,
and to live that dream in that sense. So, I appreciate you for having me on, and I wish you nothing but the best of success in all your ventures as well.
thank you. I appreciate you coming on and sharing everything with me and with anyone who's listening. For those of you that are listening, please share this episode with your friends, spread the word about Cleats for Athletes. Log on to the website, follow them on Instagram, whatever you need to do. Even following, sharing posts makes an impact. Please rate this episode as well. That will help this episode do better. And tune in next time to Living the Dream. Thank you so much, James.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on.